My favorite holiday is the day after Halloween. All that discount candy. Hey there, kids, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank. I'm that you are having a great day, and in today's video, we are going to be sitting back, relaxing, and answering viewer questions. In my previous video, I think it was in my previous video, one of you asked, how do we save silver-aged Magic the Gathering? And boy howdy, is there a lot going into that very simple seeming question. And there's three things I kind of want to unpack before we get into the nitty gritty and meat of that question. The first thing is, for those of you who don't know, Silver Aged Magic the Gathering, it's sealed product that varies in what it encompasses based entirely on who you ask. Some people will say it's from the year 1999 up until products released in 2010. You know, they'll say Urza block up till Return to Ravnica. Me personally, I would say Silver Age Magic encompasses probably everything released after the year 2000 up until the Khans of Tarkir block. And I have my own personal reasons for that. I might talk about Khans of Tarkir at some point later on. Second, when people talk about these Silver Aged Magic the Gathering products, and they talk about wanting to save these products, they're probably just referring to saving it in terms of market perception. You see, when you compare Magic the Gathering products over 10 years old, that aren't the oldest, but, you know, that early 2000s to mid 2000s products, to Pokemon stuff released around the same time, you're going to find an absolutely massive price disparity. And a lot of people tend to compare those two together, which can lead to feelings of subperformance and the idea that these things are really kind of overshadowed. Another thing that people compare these Silver-Aged Magic the Gathering booster boxes to is modern Magic. When you look at a lot of modern Magic products, they are outperforming and are super hyped. A lot of them being really, really in demand, especially collector boosters. This is by design. Wizards very much wants you to always be focused on the newest stuff hitting the shelves so that they can always turn out best-selling sets ever, right? This new fixation towards newer Magic the Gathering product is a combination of a lot of factors, not just flashier product designs on these universes beyond sets, but also Wizards very deliberately destroying kind of the sealed value of their older products in an attempt to sell newer sets with reprints out the wazoo. All kinds of older Magic products, if there were no reprints in place, if master sets did not exist, for instance, a lot of these older sets would probably be a lot more expensive just because they're the only place you could find some of these cards. Now, the third thing I want to clarify after I've been rattling on for a few minutes now is that this is not really a financial advice channel. I am not a very smart person. I'm a guy who likes to rattle on and on about the hobbies he enjoys and collects, and yes, I buy and sell a lot of crap, okay? But I'm not what I would consider a very smart person, nor do I think I'm someone who's really qualified to go handing out financial advice. And even if I was the kind of person, if I thought I was qualified to be giving out financial advice, I probably wouldn't be making YouTube videos about it. I'd probably aren't there guys who charge courses or something like that? They want you to give them $1,000 and they'll give you an 8-hour lesson on how to make money. Those guys must be rich. I do like to ramble about finances just because of how it can, reflect the various hobbies, but I want to make things clear. This is not really a financial channel. Maybe I do ramble on and on about TCG finances more often than I really should, but it is what it is. These topics are basically whatever I feel like talking, basically on a day-to-day basis. Anyway, to answer, we're now, almost 5 minutes into the video? To answer the question, okay, part of the perceived issues and there are some perceived issues with older Magic product, is just the lack of demand, desirability, and the market perception that these products have accrued over time. You know, when you have, let's say that you're a brand new investor, a brand new collector, a brand new evil scalper, and you are just looking to park, let's say, $10,000 into Magic the Gathering for whatever reason. Let's say that you were a big sports card fan, okay? And you want to park $10,000 into Magic the Gathering because you hear it's the hot new thing. Now, are you going to take that $10,000 and put it into something like, I don't know, Kamigawa block boxes at their fixed rate that have very slowly been trudging upwards for the last 10 years and sometimes even going like flatlining, you know? These have been moving at a snail's pace for the last 10 years. Would you park your $10,000 in that kind of product? Or would you be joining in the hype train and buying the newest and hottest collector boosters, knowing full well that if you manage to get them at MSRP, chances are just a few months from now, they are going to be double, triple, or even more that value? Well, I'll tell you what most people have decided. Most people have decided that they're going to go with the new hotness because, spoiler alert, I know that this is hard to grasp for a lot of people, but markets are not decided based on things like scarcity, rarity, etc. Okay? Markets and what is a hot item, what can, be most influenced by demand, what's spiking up at the moment, is determined almost entirely by what I would call vibes. All right? Here's the deal. If enough people think a product is good and worth a lot of money, then that product will be good and worth a lot of money. If enough people think that a product is stagnant and not worth investing in, then they're not going to invest in it and it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If there are an equal number of 10-year-old Magic the Gathering boxes and 6-month-old Magic the Gathering boxes on the market, and everybody believes that the 6-month-old Magic boxes are going to be double their price in a year or two, then there's a pretty high chance that those boxes will be double their price in a year or two, just because so many people are buying them up. That doesn't mean that there's no chance for those older boxes to increase in value. In fact, it doesn't even mean that there's not chances for it to vastly increase in value. Because, see, here's the thing. Markets are fickle. And public perception can flip on a dime. And so many things can change based on small factors adding up. People can look at listed numbers, listed prices, what's being opened right now, what big YouTubers are talking about a given product, and all those factors, plus a shitload more that I'm not even thinking about, can all coalesce into suddenly enough people going, oh, wow, suddenly this product is good, or that product is good, or X, Y, and Z products are worth investing in. Suddenly you have products that have not been very exciting for a long time, suddenly can gain a lot of value just because market perceptions shift. And when those market perceptions shift, the people who are out there on the margins, the people who are not part of the big crowds, who are looking at these items and going, that looks pretty underpriced. It's like 10 years old, 20 years old, and it's not been moving up at all. And there's only 30 or so out there. I should buy one just to have it. Well, the people who've been buying one or two here or there for, let's use Khans of Tarkir as an example. Let's say that you're a big fan of Khans of Tarkir, and you just want a box of Khans of Tarkir for, what is it then, $200, $220? If market sentiment changed in the next 6 months, and I'm not saying it will. In fact, I very much doubt that it will. I doubt that it will change in the next 6 years. If market sentiment suddenly changed in the next 6 months, people out there who were huge fans of Khans of Tarkir slowly picking at the, 3 dozen boxes that are available on TCG Player at under $300, People who are picking at that and buying one here, buying one there for $200-ish, if the market changes on those very suddenly, then those people who bought it at $200 are going to look like freaking geniuses. The same thing is true of just about any product if there's a sudden market swing. You know, look at those people who, Chilling Reign. Let's talk about Chilling Reign. The people who bought Chilling Reign at $75, $80, $90, they look like geniuses. The people who bought Evolving Skies when it darn near crashed down again, that was great. Near crashed. You know, the people who get in and buy things just because they like them, they can, be lucky. You know, I'm not saying that every random item you buy just because it's old is going to go up. That's not what I'm saying here. In fact, there's plenty of examples of old items that will never move up. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie exclusive pack up there on the wall. I bought that just because I really like it. That product is 20 years old. I very much doubt that there's a lot of them out there in the world now. I would be willing to bet. Oh, man. If I went to every single convention for the next 2 years that I reasonably could go to, and I shopped around, I could probably get like 3 of those. They're like $200, maybe 150. And they're going to be that way for a long time. Do you know why? Because the market, the people who make up the market, aren't all that excited about a crazy, crappy old Yu-Gi-Oh! Product that just like crazy people like me would like. But here's the thing, okay? If you are someone out there who's asking, how do we save Silver Age product? Because you're sad looking at these older boxes that have not performed that great. And we are 10 minutes into the video. This is the part that matters the most, okay? If you are somebody who looks at these old Magic the Gathering boxes or, old Yu-Gi-Oh! Boxes, old Pokemon boxes, whatever have you, this product that you are looking at and you think it is undervalued, okay, you think that for its age or rarity or whatever, you think it's undervalued, here is not financial advice, here is uncle advice. Find products that fit that description, that you genuinely enjoy, that are within your budget. Both of those things, okay? Both of these factors must be true. You must like the thing, and you must be able to afford the thing reasonably. If you find an item that's like that, start buying it. A little here, a little there. Buy a box a month, or a box every 3 months. Buy a Khans of Tarkir box, every 6 months. Buy some Pokemon Go, Dragonite, Pokeball deck things. And here's why, okay? If you are right, and the product you have picked is in fact undervalued, then sooner or later, the rest of the market will catch on. In theory, some YouTuber makes a video talking about how crazy rare and underpriced this particular item is, and suddenly people are in a mad dash to get as much of it as possible, to crack open and show off on all their Instagrams and stuff like that. If scenario A happens, and the market shifts and perception changes on that item you've picked, congratulations, you're a genius, and you have doubled or even tripled your money in some cases. Good on you. But if you're wrong, option B happens, and 80 years pass, and you are my age, and nobody ever changes their opinion about Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie exclusive pack, which is actually a genuinely bad set. I just really like it, okay? If you picked an item that never appreciates, the market never changes its tune, and the wider collector community just doesn't care about it, then at least you have bought something that you enjoy. And if it never appreciates in value, you still have something that you like. Whether it's just something you want to put on display, or whether it's just something you want to play with, collect, and have fun with. That's really all I got for you kids today. I know that I did not intend this video to go as long as it did, but I felt like rambling more and more about this topic. Just because, yeah, it's true, you know, public perception is a huge deciding factor in how a lot of markets move. It's not just card markets, it's the stock market is determined almost entirely by vibes at this point. I'm going to call it a vibe market. It's probably not a word I should use. But whatever. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? You know, part of the joy, I think, of getting out there on YouTube and putting my random ramble rants out there is that I get to hear what you guys think about me, about my opinions, and it can be a scary thing, you know, to get conflicting opinions from your own. But I also like to read what you guys think, whether it's agreeing with me or disagreeing with me, because I like to broaden my horizons. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you next time.